This is a chart of St. Kitts debt, but before I talk about this, I want to talk about the income tax. We get a lot of questions about people asking, will St. Kitts and Nevis ever end their income tax, personal income tax in St. Kitts? And this has been a big concern. Questions come up all the time, and I'm going to go over this chart with you and also a few other things because we've had a lot of people asking about this. The Income Tax Act was actually passed in St. Kitts and Nevis in 1966. And it came into force on the first day of January 1967. It made provisions for income tax to be changed on both individuals and corporate entities. Then the income tax on individuals was abolished in 1980. So there has been no personal income tax in St. Kitts and Nevis for about 41 years now. Also, if you're making at least $150,000 US a year and or you've got a net worth of at least 1 million US, and you want to learn how to legally get your taxes to zero, how to get a second passport, in as quick as 3 months, do 3 things. Hit the subscribe button to the right of your screen, and you will also the notification bell next to that subscription button, and you'll get new videos automatically as they come out. And number 2 is I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, just put it below and I'll get back with you. And number 3 is go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. Okay, now both parties in St. Kitts and Nevis have been tested with coming out with an income tax over the last 41-year period. And neither party wants the income tax, including the most liberal parties in St. Kitts and Nevis. In fact, the most liberal party in St. Kitts and Nevis is a lot more conservative than the Republican Party in the USA, because even the Republicans as a whole still think that the USA cannot function without an income tax. Now, no elected Republican president in recent history has even proposed getting rid of the federal income tax in the USA. Now, Ron Paul has proposed it before, and you see how many votes he got, almost none. The origin of the income tax in the USA on individuals is generally cited as the passage of the 16th Amendment that was passed by Congress July the 2nd, 1909, and then it was ratified February the 3rd, 1913. However, its history actually goes back even further. During the Civil War, Congress passed the Revenue Act of 1861, which included a tax on personal incomes to help pay for war expenses. The tax was actually repealed 10 years later. However, in 1894, Congress enacted a flat-rate federal income tax, which was ruled unconstitutional the following year by the U.S. Supreme Court because it was a direct tax, not apportioned according to the population of each state. The 16th Amendment, ratified in 1913, removed this objection by allowing the federal government to tax the income of individuals without regard to the proportion or actually to the population of each state. Now, there are 2 liberal parties with one representing St. Kitts and the other one in Nevis in the Federation. The Liberals were in power for almost 20 years in St. Kitts and Nevis, and even during that period, the most liberal parties in the Federation did not want the income tax brought back in, and they were dearly tested over this period of time, which I'm going to show you here in a minute. St. Kitts and Nevis has a modified 2-party system, which means that there are 2 dominant political coalitions with extreme difficulty for anybody to achieve electoral success under the banner of any other party. Before 2015 election, the Conservative People's Action Movement, called PAM, the Nevis-based Concerned Citizens Movement, and in 2013 there was another party formed called the People's Labor Party. They actually formed what was called a Team Unity Alliance. The Team Unity Alliance Party is in office now, and this is a conservative party. Now, let me show you what I'm going to talk about here. And the reason I wanted to show you this is a background history of St. Kitts and their parties, because they do have a liberal party, they do have a conservative party. But like I said, the conservative party and the liberal party, there's not that much difference as far as on tax issues and stuff like this as far as the income tax. In fact, neither party wants the income tax, and I'm going to show you proof of it right here. This chart here, I wanted to show you, you can pull this up, and I'll try to put a link below where you can actually go in, get this chart, pull it up and look at it, and you can kind of see for yourself. But what I wanted to show you was, if you look here in 2005, St. Kitts had a real problem with debt. This actually peaked out right around 2005. And the GDP per capita the debt in St. Kitts and Nevis was 156.78%. I mean, it was really bad. It was this was the percent of fiscal GDP, and you can see what happened was St. Kitts actually, I had read, where it had the second highest GDP fiscal year of any country in the world except for Japan. It was really bad, and in a small country like St. Kitts, they wanted to try to get this thing changed really quick. And in a small country like St. Kitts, it's a lot easier to do this. And let me show you what they ended up doing. They had a bailout from the IMF, and I had read where they actually gave St. Kitts a choice between setting up a VAT or having an income tax. Now, you have to remember, during this period of time that I'm showing you on this chart, the liberals were in office. They were not the conservatives in office at this point. These were the liberals who were in office. So they had a choice whether to come out with a VAT or an income tax. They chose to have a VAT instead of the income tax. All right, and look what happened here. This is what happened with the, you can see right here, this actually went down, way down, and you can see all the way down to 2000. This is 2014. This is 2016. This is 18. And you can go all the way down to around, we're looking about right in this area here, which is around 2021, okay? Now, just to show you how much it dropped, this is with a VAT, and this is not having an income tax. They actually lowered the debt from 156.78% down to, I don't know if you can see this here on this chart, but it was right around almost 60% of fiscal year GDP. That's actually about roughly, that's about a 60% drop over around a 15-year period. That's phenomenal. And they did this without coming out with an income tax. So you wonder, with this debt the U.S. has got a debt that's going up every year. They're not lowering the debt at all, and they're doing it with an income tax, with most states having a state income tax, and you got the federal tax, then you got the Social Security tax, and the debt just keeps going up every year, and they're doing this with an income tax. St. Kitts reduced all this debt with a VAT, okay? So why would they ever want to come out with an income tax when they've done this with just a VAT? Now, can the U.S. do this? Yeah, they could, but most people vote liberal in the U.S. Most people want the freebies and the handouts and all this other stuff, and I don't think you're going to see that change. I think you're going to see a default in the dollar eventually. I don't think any political party is going to get in and try to make a change, because to do that, you're going to have to cut way back on social programs, and I don't see that happening. And to come out, the only way they see fit is to have an income tax, and I think you're going to see that continue in the USA. I don't think you'll ever see, at least in my lifetime, an income tax in St. Kitts. In 300 or 400 years down the road, maybe, but why would they do that when they can solve problems like this with a VAT? I mean, it doesn't make sense. The U.S. could do it too with a VAT. It's just that they don't see it in their, they don't see justification coming out with a VAT. They think it's basically moving away from socialism when they do it. So you're never going to see the U.S. solve that problem, that debt problem, with a VAT. They could, but they won't see it. And you will never see anything changed in the U.S. until the default takes place. Then I think you'll see some major changes, but I think the U.S. will lose their ability to really function like they have in the past when that happens. Anyway, if you're making at least $150,000 US a year, or you have a net worth of at least $1 million US, and you want to legally learn how to get your taxes down to zero, or how to get a second passport as quick as 2 months, do 3 things. Hit the subscribe button on the right of your screen. You'll get new videos as they come out automatically. And also, don't forget to hit that notification bell next to that subscription button. And number 2 is, I'd like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, just put it below. And number 3 is, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and hit that top bar of any page where it says apply with us. Fill out the questions, and then hit that bar at the bottom of the questionnaire page that says send it to us so we can get back with you. We deal with a lot of residency by investment and citizenship by investment countries all over the world. And I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.